Episode 10, Tolerance's Extinction, Part 3. Oh boy, season finale of X-Men 97 is in the can. And if you ask me, I'd say they saved the best for last, without a doubt. I thought this was just easily the best episode. I already said it. What can I say it again? It was the best episode. Oh boy. And let's start with something real simple. We got cameos upon cameos upon cameos. And in the 90s series, they did have like very brief cameos. The point was never to take away from the shine of the X-Men. It was just a little cherry on top, a little something extra. And in this episode, they gave you a little something extra and a little something extra more. We had Iron Man and Captain America hanging out with the president, trying to influence their decision making. We had King T'Chaka trying to do his best to give his influence. We had Daredevil acting as the devil of Hell's Kitchen, taking on rioting in the streets, trying to protect the innocents. And there's some more, smaller roles, X-Men characters, side characters, but no one took up too much screen time. It was just little bells and whistles, little fun things here and there, little pop-ups on the screen just to be like, oh, hey, check that out. Oh, there goes another one. But the main focus was all on the X-Men, all on like both the A-plot of the Bastion side of things and then Magneto and Professor X dealing with their internal struggles, their external physical threats, as well as their internal mental debate. It was all very compelling stuff and emotional too. My grandparents are Holocaust survivors. They were, in fact, rescued by Nazi prison guards. A Nazi prison guard had my grandparents and the last few remaining members of my family living underground while they went out to work and hunted more Jews. So you could imagine my grandparents came back home and raised their family with some feelings both similar to Magneto and Professor X. They were able to see both the horrors and the potential to save your fellow human being while being at war. It's a mind-boggling situation. But as the viewer, my perspective is like totally loving this back and forth between Magneto and Xavier trying to express that, yes, these physical threats are most definitely out there. These humans are most definitely trying to kill us. They certainly hate us. There's no denying that. But these are things we have dealt with in the past and can continue to deal with together as a family if we just give them one more chance and then another. And when it seems like it doesn't make sense, we got to do it again. And the biggest threat to you, Magnus, is in your own mind, your inability to let it go. And I think we can all be empathetic to the fact that the Holocaust is one hard thing for anyone to let go. And to see it replay right in front of you, there would be no denying it. And yet, Xavier has the perspective of this has worked before and it will work again. And just the metaphor of the flooding waters, it was just so well done. Chef's kiss on that Magneto's mind scene. Whew. Another thing in that same vein was the Bastion arc. He just wants to be loved. He just wants to be accepted. And as a boy, his mom didn't allow for that to happen. Xavier had a spot on the team for him and she straight up lied, like, nah, they don't want you. Nobody wants you. And he was just fed to believe that humanity is just at war and they hate each other so much. And that's just the way things are. On top of that, you got a full-on cold-hearted robot, the Sentinel Overlord. Master Mold was a scary dude. He didn't give no F's about nobody. He just wanted to kill. He wanted to replace world leaders with robots. Like, dude was off his rocker. And those thoughts, that programming is all in Bastion. So you can kind of feel bad for the guy. Like, he never really had a chance. And so when confronted with the X-Men and their empathy and their tolerance and their acceptance and like, you can still be one of us, he's like, are you stupid? Do you see my face? There is no humanity left. There is nothing humane about me. Your heady little words, your nice talk, your pillow, whatever, you can shove it. I don't care. Look at me. I'm a robot man. Do you expect me to get a job saying hi to people as they walk into Walmart? Am I supposed to get a Tinder profile? No, you're crazy. There's no hope for me. There's no hope for humanity. Like, the world is lost, and the only way to save it is for me to just lay waste. Man, what a sad perspective to have. That even as the X-Men are like, you know what? We're done fighting you. We got this Trojan horse of a Sentinel. The way we were able to beat you was with your own pride, bringing a Sentinel in. You were too blind to see it. But we're willing to give you one last chance. We will not step on you just yet. We'll reach out a hand. And even still, Bastion's like, nah, bruh, joke's on you. The missiles are already flying in because humanity hates you more than you love me. With your willingness to save me, those missiles are still crashing in 3, 2, 1, boom. And now we're flying on all cylinders. We got the X-Men working as a team, doing what they need to do in coordination, using their abilities in the best situation. Storm with the wind, Jean with the energy mind shield, Rogue lifting it up with all her strength, and on the inside, Cyclops is just blasting away. It's what you expect the X-Men to do in the season finale, man. They got to bring their A game, and they sure did. Whew. And if we could just rewind a little bit, speaking of bringing the A game, Rogue, when she sees Bastion, and she's just got to let it all out, like, yo, you took my mans. And she's dropping references like the cards are always in the X-Men's favor, and telling Bastion, like, it was Gambit, bro. Remember the name. You took my hubby, bubby. I was going to spend my life with this fool. I never got the chance to tell him, you dirtbag. I'm going to lay it into you. And that beating that she put on him, you knew he was going to bounce back. It's so anime. Like, you got the first form, the final form, and each form is more robotic than the next as his character is becoming more cold and callous and robotic and just gives no F's. His physical reflects that, which is cool. He reforms just to show what a licking he can take and how much more force it's going to take for them. And even with the surprise attack, like, he was still laughing into their face like, oh, you think you're so bad. Dude was cold-hearted. I wasn't a big fan of Bastion just because they didn't really give us enough. I didn't know anything about this character until the final episode. I'm like, oh, you're really messed up. And like, as much as I can sympathize for how messed up you are, like, you're also a pretty metal villain. Like, who doesn't love a metal villain? Like, you got to have someone with an intimidating presence for the characters to go up against, and you to wonder, like, how are they going to do this? I don't know. I'm waiting to see. I think we can wrap things up with the apocalypse. The meter explodes, and it doesn't really explode. It like turns into blue light. And I don't know, is it something to do with Magneto's magnetism? I don't know how quantum physics works, but it doesn't look like a normal explosion. And they end up in like thousands of years in the future and in the past. And in both circumstances, like, obviously, Apocalypse's fingerprints are all over the place. They even meet in Sabanur before he becomes Apocalypse, and he's already taken over Egypt. He's already got like a big golden dome and advanced technology out in the Egyptian desert, and Beast is just like, oh, this cannot be good. We showed up at least a day late. And then in the future, Scott and Jean are in an apocalyptic wasteland where Apocalypse has just run amok of the place. And finally, we cap things off in the present with Apocalypse returning from his rest. He goes to Genosha. He picks up Gambit's card, says so much death. And obviously he's referencing the angel of death, his horseman, Gambit, death, as it were. And I never wanted to see Gambit go. I'm happy to see that he's most likely coming back, but I don't like him as the angel of death. There's a lot of things that they tried in the comics that just didn't work. Bonesaw Wolverine, Onslaught, and for me, I just don't like Angel of Death Gambit. But I'll take what I can get if he's coming back. And that about wraps things up. I'm going to do another one of these, just talking about the front to back whole season. How do I feel? What did I like? What did I didn't like? What did they do right? What did they do wrong? All of that. But that's another video for another day. I've been your boy, Diesel Time. What did you think of the finale? You know, did you agree? Is it the best of the best of the best, sir? Let me know. Peace.